Hello everybody. I am back doing the downstairs, the family room, and then after I do this video, then I'll do one on my craft room. You can see back there in the distance is that awesome haunted mansion that's different from the one that's upstairs. This one has an orange frame and another cute old haunted house. Let's go over here and get a closer look. You can see I have Jim Shore under the haunted mansion. And you can see the detail on that. It is just wonderful. And the frame is gorgeous. We're so fortunate to have gotten so much of her art when we did. This little tree has some cute Hallmark ornaments on it that our daughter got me for my birthday for quite a few years. It was one a year. Love that Jim Shore witch. And this super cute cat garland. Another Jenny Salcini painting. That is one of a vintage postcard also. And all these fantastic Jim Shore witches. And there's that garland I got at Michael's on sale. And just look at all these witches. The detail is wonderful. And this garland was just perfect for there. Love that pumpkin head guy. He came from Michael's either last year or year before. I'm not sure. I can't really remember. And back there is Department 56 witch. I used the old trophy and put some of those flowers with the eyeballs in them and stuck the witch's feet in them. These are two favorites. Friend gave them to us years ago. Daughter gave me that years ago, and it has different seasonal pieces to hang off of her hand. And more of those spooky flowers with the eyeballs. And this tree has all those wonderful glass ornaments that came from a yard sale. Except for the pine cones. I already had the pine cones. There's some wonderful ornaments on there. Stay out. And this is another piece of Johanna Parker that I didn't realize was her until when I was reading the tag on the back of it too. I've had that for a long time. And the lights reflect through those paper eyes and it makes it look like he is kind of eerie looking. And of course that wonderful owl on the moon that our kids got us for anniversary years ago. That may have been, I'm trying to remember, that might have been the 50th anniversary. And I put that in that little cloche. And I know it's going to be a glare probably on this. But this applique picture, we've had that for years too. And I hadn't got it out in quite a few years. And this was the time to do it. And I thought, well, let's hang it in the tobacco basket. And I'm really pleased with the way it looks. You can see the gate out there in the hallway. Now back here I did a lot of kind of witches haunted mansion or witches apothecary as I did in my craft room. There are a lot of channels that influenced how I did this back part of the room. Some ones that they would buy, a lot of them bought a lot of old silver pieces, and they used pieces they already had around their house. You know, tintypes, old photographs, things like that. And I don't think I bought a thing new except a few pieces that came from yard sales. I didn't buy anything in the stores to use in my displays back here. I don't think. But the ones that I was inspired by were Meeker Home and DIY, the Curated Home, Pamil's Vintiquities, One Crafty Witch, and A Vision in Vintage Co. I'll try to remember and put those down in the description box. But check out all those ladies' accounts, because it's wonderful to be able to use things you already have, or to think about what you need all year long and pick it up at yard sales where you can get it cheaper. So let's go back here. I changed the table up. I kept the big giant compote with those wonderful shiny brights in it, and I kept the clock and the tray and one witch. But then I added the other witches and a few other things. But I love the way this table looks. The two witches that are on each side, those were Walmart witches. And this is a Joe Spencer witch that we got at a yard sale. And that's my one and only Joe Spencer witch. They're a little pricey, but they are beautiful. And so I'm so happy I have that one. So I'm going to go this way. There's that wonderful woodland witch with her broom ready to fly that we got at Tuesday Morning several years ago. And on the owl tree, I did put some reproduction Halloween ornaments. So it's got the owl, has the pumpkin, and then the owl 3D print that we got at, well, actually it's not a print, it's 10 that we got at a local primitive shop. Let me flip around here. I forgot to show you that right there. And up on the top of the cupboard, the spooky hands and the crow. This is where I used a lot of yard sale pieces, a lot of vintage pieces, and I think the only thing I bought in here were those Till Death Do Us Part plates, I believe. So let me get back so you can kind of see. This is the witch's cupboard. I've never used a doll's head before, but I had one that a friend gave me, so I thought, why not? It fits right in. I used some of the old daguerreotypes, old clocks. Those bottles in the back are actually vintage apothecary bottles. Lots of old silver pieces that I picked up at yard sales. And back there is the mustache mug that I got last week. And all these little glass figures, those are light covers. And I didn't have any lights big enough that they would stay on, so I just kind of layered them in here. But I'm loving this cupboard. An owl. More silver and moss. Clock faces. This is a vintage noisemaker. This is a super old one. But I am so pleased with how this turned out. I won't shut the doors. I love these pumpkin dolls. And there are some vintage candles right there. All our vintage treasures. Shiny bright ornaments. And this guy I bought at a yard sale years ago. He's glass. And I just put him in there on some straw. And this right here, I love this, how this turned out. And I hope you do too. Lots of old silver pieces. And down there I just put some amber bottles with the demijohns and a sign and those wicker lights. And I love how that looks. This pumpkin head lady is another print we got that we've never found a frame the exact size. Old silver pictures from yard sales. Kept the ironstone platters under there and put creepy cloth. And this is that silver piece that was a dome piece. There's the lid. That was perfect to put the moss and the skeleton in. And there's another one of those wonderful garlands I've had for a couple years back there. That little urn is one we got at a yard sale this year. And these pumpkins I've had for at least 5 or 6 years and hadn't gotten them out in a while. So it was like finding a treasure when I opened the storage box and those were in. And the spider web. Little bottle brush trees. The little vintage frames that I made. Little cats of reproduction. Lots of our vintage treasures in this area. There's the blow molds we got this year. And I love this witch doll and her little pumpkin child. Shiny bright on this tree. An adorable Anna Lee. And I just hung a pumpkin off of the house that John built. And I just put some moss and greenery down there and gave the little bunny a pumpkin. And some of our vintage books. And all of these places back here y'all saw, things are rearranged a little bit because we took things out and used them other places. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the family room. And please check out those ladies I mentioned. I think you will enjoy them all so much. So have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you again soon.